Hey guys, how you doing? Good morning. Renee told me that you guys are getting together, and I've been toying around with some video ideas and thought I would give you my 2 cents worth with regard to what Renee's going to go through with you today. So she told me that sounds like you guys are going to go through doc packages and emails and verifications and template emails and blah, blah, blah. Ugh, it just doesn't sound exciting to me at all. So I thought I'd do a quick little video and at least tell you what my thought is on all of this from the loan officer perspective. So here we go. When we meet with a borrower, our main goal is to take them from being a lead, and we want to move them along a journey, along a path, and we want to get them to the point where they are a happy closed loan. So that's the goal. That's what we're trying to accomplish every time we get together with somebody. Recently, so I've been doing this since 1997, and recently I've had some revelations. And boy, not really, I was blind, now I can see type revelations, but pretty significant revelations, and they've kind of re-energized me and got me excited about this industry again. And I think the thing that I'm seeing as I'm out here in North Carolina trying to build some business out here and do some different things, I think what I've gotten energized about and what I've come to realize is as we're moving people along this journey, we have to a big degree forgotten some very, very important key parts. We all want them to become a lead. We all want them to become a closed loan. But I think the couple things that we forget the borrower. Number one, sometimes we forget the borrower, that there's a borrower involved, but we forget their emotions. This is a big, big part of the mortgage loan transaction. The borrower's emotions as they're moving along this journey have really, to a large degree, been forgotten. And that guides everything. So I want to kind of go through this and take this journey and break it down a little bit for you and show you kind of some of the things I've been looking at and the way I've been changing my own communications in order to talk to the borrower's emotions and also the borrower's perceptions of a mortgage loan transaction. So let's look at 3 different phases right now. So to start with, phase 1, this is the pre-qualification. So this is when a borrower first contacts me or I first contact them and we have the initial conversation. We are then going to move them along a path and we're going to talk to them in a way that we want to try to get them to the point where they are pre-qualified. So we'll call that pre-qualified, and that is stage 2. Then we're going to move from being pre-qualified to going under contract. And that's the 3rd stage. So we've got stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. So those are the 3 stages I want to talk about today. So what I've noticed is when someone calls me, they typically start off very, they're very nervous, they're reserved, they know that they're going into a process where we're just going to open them up financially. There's no other financial process that we go through where you start with a credit report, and that's nerve-wracking. No matter how good people think their finances are put together, we're going to just lay it all bare. So people come to me very reserved, and they don't typically know me from anybody. I'm a stranger, so that makes it even worse. Kind of an interesting thing that goes on there, because at that point in time I'm trying to build trust, I'm trying to build rapport, I'm trying to move them along to the next stage, if you will. Next stage is the pre-qualification. Now at the pre-qualification point there is a noticeable shift in the borrower's emotions and in just how they're looking at the whole process. They've gone from being nervous and very hesitant to now they're pre-qualified and they're excited. They're out looking at homes with a realtor. Things are starting to move really quickly. I can't tell you how many times that I've had a borrower would call me, we'd get pre-qualified and they'd say, oh, well, we want to buy sometime in the next couple months. And lo and behold, 2 days later, I get a phone call and they're under contract. Things just seem to move along very quickly. There's a huge shift in the psychology that happens with the borrower once that we get them to the point of being pre-qualified. At the point of being pre-qualified, they're out looking for homes. Maybe they've got a house to sell. Who knows what's going on? It's different every time. But eventually we get to the point that they are under contract. Now this third phase of being under contract, this is huge. This is, I don't know if you guys saw the Mayweather Pacquiao fight, the main event. There's 2 fights beforehand and then that one. And anybody that bought it on pay-per-view for $100, which I did because my kids had a bunch of friends over, we watched 2 fights that were kind of whatever, and then we got to the point of the main event. I mean, this is it. This is what people remember. Okay, no matter how great the marketing was here, no matter how great I followed up with them all through this whole part of the transaction, this is what everybody remembers. They remembers what happens from the time they went under contract to the time they closed. Was it smooth? Was it, were there hiccups? Did we create stress or did we alleviate stress? And there's a big emotional thing going on here. Think about what the borrowers are going through. Right off the bat, they go under contract and they're being bombarded by, we got to do an inspection, we've got to do an appraisal, let's lock your rate. The list goes on and on and on. They're thinking about, we're moving from this city to a new city. We've got to say goodbye to friends and family. We've got to, find a new church. Who knows what it is? They've got all these things on their mind. They've got to change the mail, set up the utilities, pack the house, register the kids for school. It is ongoing. And the last thing they want to think about is the mortgage loan. And we have a great responsibility to work them along this journey and get them to the point where they are prepared for this and that we really guide them through this stage of the whole transaction. We're taking them through a journey here, and their emotions are journeying as well. They're all over the place. And how we deal with things like a doc package. Are we prepared and professional and explain it well? Do we send a verification, but it gets kicked back and we have to then go get more info? And then how we do things really has a big impact on what people remember at the very end of the day once they're a closed loan. Their emotions and their perceived, or their perception of the whole process is huge. And I'll tell you, anything that we do in this section when they're under contract to closing, anything that we do during that time that might be a little bit off or something that comes up or happens, everything is exponentially wound up because the anxieties are high, the stress levels are high. And think about this. I'm talking about the borrowers. We haven't even talked about the realtors yet. We haven't even got them involved. We haven't even talked about what the sellers are going through. This is this is a charged transaction. We've got to take this very seriously. So, how does all this work together? Let me show you this model. So, I'm going to draw 3 circles. So let's do it this way. So, I'll start here. So we're going to go there. And there, and there. Okay, so this is not perfect because we're all involved at different places, but this is the heavy concentration of where our team members are involved in a transaction. And I know there's a lot of extra stuff going on here. Let's get rid of some of this. Okay, so in this first section, so from the time that somebody is a lead all the way up until about the contract time or a little bit after the contract, I, as the loan officer, am very, very much involved. Up front, it's just me. Processing's not involved. A loan processing or loan production assistant's not involved. It's really just me trying to get to the borrower and build that trust and rapport. Then there's some blend here. There's this time where maybe we need to start collecting some initial docs. We need to maybe get some more information on the 1003. There's a time here where some of the communication is going to overlap a bit. And then there's some time in the middle where really this is where a loan production assistant really has the ball. You know, it might be a couple quick little updates. It might be checking in on some docs. I mean, there's a point in time there where, you know, I'm not really involved, a processor's not really involved. In my case, Renee, you know, that's about it. Then there's some overlap as we transition, and then from contract to close, I mean, let's be honest, at that point in time, especially in my team, this is Renee's baby. You know, at this point in time, she is running it. I really, at that point, have lost a little bit touch with the client to a certain degree because I'm out trying to do more of this. So we have a nice little flow with how everything goes. And I'll tell you what, the big key to this whole thing are these transitions. These transitions are huge. How we're taking people from these emotional shifts, from being nervous and a little bit reserved to being elated and free-flowing and can't wait to get under contract to, oh my God, what the heck just happened to me? I mean, how we're working people through and how we're communicating with them and how we're setting ourselves up as the professionals, as the guides, if you will, is very, very important. And again, docs and verifications and templated emails and all those things play into the whole emotion of the whole thing. So that's what I've got. I'm very excited about this process, and to be honest with you, I haven't been excited for quite a while. I've got a lot more that I want to that we're changing, that we're going to be putting out there, and that we're really trying to hone in on right now. I hope this little video has helped. You are my guinea pigs as I'm getting into a little bit of video here, and I hope it was good. So anyway, thank you for all you do.